All right. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another edition of the Mr. Islam Answers Back Live Show. Let us give everyone a few moments to check in, sign in, to join us. Let's go ahead and do that. Give everyone a few moments. Let's send out some quick tweets. Let everybody know that we are live on the air. Join us now. All right, let's send some tweets out real quick. Let them know that we're starting while the other people come into the room. And we'll get started with tonight's topic. We're just sending out some tweets, everyone, to let everybody know that the show has started and they can join us now. So, fear not, fear not, fear not. All right. Got a few texts. And we're just waiting for some more guests to join us. And then we will give it a go. We'll get started. Got another good, interesting topic for tonight. Like I said, let's just give it a few more moments. Let everybody know we are on the air. Let me see. Let me do a quick Facebook post. We post on Facebook also. Crowd know that we're on live right as we speak right now. Let's see here. As you join the room, just letting everybody know that we are just sending out some quick tweets to let everybody know that we are live right now so they can join us now as we speak. So, and if you like, you can do the same. Matter of fact, we asked you, can you do the same? Send out a tweet, send out a Facebook post, send something on your Instagram, whatever other social media you're on. Let them know that the Mr. Islam Answers Back show is live on the air and you can join us for the discussion right now. So I'm just going to do one more post on Facebook, let everybody know about the show, and then we'll go ahead and get right into the topic as people join us for tonight's discussion. All right, let's send this out real quick. Okay. All right. We just sent out another post on Facebook. Took care of the Twitter. Of course, if you're on YouTube, you'll see us. All right. Wa alaikum salam, Akil. Assalamu alaikum. All right, so let's go ahead and get started, and we'll give a chance, and as we'll go through the topic, and others will just join in as we go along. So, as you saw, tonight's topic is a story that I saw on Facebook. From what I understand, the actual incident happened a few years ago. I think it happened in 2015, if I remember correctly, 2015, 2016. However, I just saw a recent post the other day on Facebook where someone posted well, they didn't really post, but they posted the claim, and that's why I was suspicious right there. They posted the claim, a typical anti-Muslim, post, bigoted post against Muslims, and it said that weapons were sent to Muslim refugees in what I saw was like it looked like they made it seem like it was happening here in America, or at least in Western countries, either one. So I saw the post, and I was already suspicious because I noticed that there was no link to an article, right? There was no link to an actual article in the post. So that's what threw up the suspicion first, and then I saw the pictures. So I said, well, let me do a quick research. So I did a quick search, see what would come up. And as I suspected, it came up that the story was false, right? It came up that the story was false. But what happens is a bunch of bigots, anti-Muslim bigots, were, posting this all over the place. That, this is why you can't, the typical bigotry, this is why you can't trust the refugees. Look, somebody was sending them weapons. But even on the surface of it, like when I saw it and I first thought about it and I thought deeper about it, I was like, well, it doesn't even make sense. First of all, these type of conspiracy theories are so asinine. I mean, do you really think that these poor people coming from these countries, these war torn countries, are military people, are trained military people, that the weapons that they need somebody to send, I mean, that they need somebody to send them the weapons, and they're ready and they're trained and they're ready to go? I mean, really, like, this is like, damn, like that sounds like the plot from Black Panther. Right? That sounds like the plot from maybe that's why that's why somebody sent it, because it sounds like the plot from Black Panther, doesn't it? Where you know the what's the name, the the villain, the Killmonger dude, you know what I'm saying? Where the Killmonger dude is trying to send weapons to help oppressed people, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's like it kind of reminds me of that. It's kind of like almost like that story, like. But like I said, when you think about it on the surface of it, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, do you really think that these people are all these people, these men and these women and these children, are trained military people, and they're part of a conspiracy? Like they like like somehow they all conspired to say, okay, yeah, we're gonna act like refugees, and we're gonna go to Western countries, and then when we get there, you guys send us the weapons. I mean, like, really? But as I've spoken before, a lot of these haters and these bigots, they're naive like that, and they believe stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Wa alaikum salam, brother Shazad. Oh, the video is stuck, huh? Okay, let's see. I'm still talking here. Let's see. Let's see here. Should I try to refresh? Let's see what happens. It's refreshing. Give it a second. Let me see something. All right, what's going on here? It's still like refreshing. What the heck is going on? Can you guys see me or no? Or really slow. Let's see. I'm still streaming, but my YouTube page is still trying to load up. Okay, there it is. Man, this thing is really slow. Okay, how about now? Is it moving now? Okay, it looks like it's moving now. Right? Okay, yeah, it looks like it's moving now. So all right, so what was I saying? So yeah, so like I said, so even if you just take the time to think about it for a moment, you would see that it just, you know what I mean? But again, like as we talked about before, that a lot of these haters and these bigots and these racists, they want to believe stuff like that. You know, they're so hungry, and they're so, you know, they're so hungry and looking for something to justify their bigotry, that unfortunately they believe something that, if you were in your right, you know, if you were thinking clearly, would be like, oh, you know, that sounds kind of that sounds suspect. You know what I mean? It sounds suspect. So you know, you would be you'd want to research, but because they want something to justify their bigotry, stories like this, they'll just run with it. You know what I mean? Because they want to believe it. They you know, they already in their mind, they already have that bias. They already want something to justify their hatred and their bigotry towards Muslims anyway. You know what I mean? So that's how it goes there. Also, by the way, let me take a quick moment to talk about. Well, I'm the sponsor, right? So just to do a quick advertisement for my book. Remember, you can always get my new book, He Never Was God: How Scripture Shows That Jesus Was Fully a Man and Not God. It is available on Amazon.com. You can get that in the description area of this video. The link to it is there. It's on Amazon, Amazon Kindle. You can get it in paperback or an ebook, right? Our DVB, our digital video book, entitled Taqiyya, The Lie They Made Against Islam, which is a thorough refutation of the claims that the haters make about Taqiyya being a supposed teaching that allows Muslims to lie to non-Muslims and deceive non-Muslims in order to promote Islam. We give a thorough and detailed refutation in that video. Also, if you'd like to make a donation to us, to our platform in general, you can use the links also in the description area by going to our website and making a donation through our donation page, or make a donation directly through the PayPal link. Okay, either one, anyone would go there. All right, anyone would suffice. Like and as a last resort, if you do not have a PayPal account or you can't purchase the book on Amazon or whatever, you could use the super chat, which is available right here on the as you're chatting right now. You see the dollar sign. That's the super chat. Just remember, again, I say this every show, just remember that if you use that option, that the donation does not get to the YouTuber, whether it's me or any YouTuber. YouTubers do not get those super chats until a month later, and they do not get the full donation. A percentage is taken out. So it's preferable if you use the links in the description of the video. Okay. I apologize for being starting the show later today. I know the other day I said I was going to try to do the show earlier, but I did give you guys a heads up that it's possible that it could be later because of the fact that I was had some car issues and I was working on the car. Matter of fact, I'm still working on the car. That's why it took me longer today, because unfortunately it's still taking longer to get it done. Inshallah, I hope to have it completed and back on the road by tomorrow, inshallah. So that's the thing. All right. So I just wanted to let everybody know. That's why I said I was going to do the show earlier today, but I was still out there working on that car, trying to get it back on the road. All right. So that was the reason why we had to start it later. Matter of fact, I almost didn't start the show, but I was like, you know what? Let me try to keep on schedule regardless of whatever else is going on. You know what I'm saying? But again, donations would be greatly appreciated. All right, donations. If you can send some to the platform, you know, that would be greatly appreciated. Unfortunately, because I haven't been able to get out and back on the road because of my car, this is putting me, setting me back a little bit. So if I could ask a favor from any of the brothers and sisters, that you can make a donation, it would be a great help, inshallah. All right. So back to the topic of the show. Let me hold on. So we got some more people entering the show. Starting and stopping. Yeah, I wonder. I don't know what's going on. Well, it is telling me that the connection that I have is kind of weak, so it may be that. It may be. It's better now. Okay, good. Alhamdulillah, it's better now. Muhammad Zakaria, welcome to the show, and any other guests that are coming in. All right. So yeah. So as I said, so I saw the post on Facebook about a day or two ago, and but I was already suspicious of it. I was already suspicious, because we're used to seeing these haters and these bigots throw these stories around. So the person who did it is somebody who's an associate of mine, not a friend, but somebody who's an associate of mine on Facebook. You know what I mean? Like, I have people, I have family, I have friends, I have people I went to school with, people I grew up with. Then there's other people who are associates from various means, whether it be through martial arts or whatever other stuff that I might be involved in, or something of that sort, where the person posted, and I was like, dude, how many times have I told you about these outrageous stories, and for you to check your facts? So I posted him the articles to show that these stories are false and fake, which I'm going to show to you guys right now. So let's see. Let's go to that first one here. So if you're familiar with the website known as Snopes, right? Snopes is a site that they investigate internet claims and lets you know whether the story was true or false, or whatever the case. So here you see. So what I did. So yeah, I came up on Snopes and a couple of others, and I posted it to this associate of mine to let him know that, hey man, look, I told you, because I called him out on a few posts that he's made. You know what I mean? I had to call him out on a few posts to let him know that, hey man, these stories are fake. You know what I mean? They're outrageous. They sound outrageous. And again, he has this kind of anti-Muslim slant on him, and he's always posting these things, and I'm always letting him know, like, yo, stuff is fake, bro. And I'm telling you, it's bigotry. You know what I'm saying? But he continues to do it, and they're not checking their sources. So I did the search, and come to find out, yeah, the story is fake, as you see here from Snopes, who's a website that does investigations about internet claims or whatever. And as you can see, they investigated and showed that the story is indeed false. It says Greece, and actually it took place in Greece, right? Greece seizes weapons headed for refugee camps? ? It says a shipment of weapons interdicted by Greek customs officials was not intended for refugees. So as you can see, the story is false. But what they did is the internet story, the story that's been thrown around on Facebook and whatever, it looks like this. They have the claim, and then they have these stories. So basically, like I said, that was what gave me the suspicion that it was fake, because in the post on Facebook, there is no link to any actual article. What they do is they have these pictures that you see right here on the screen, right? They have these pictures, the pictures here on the left, where you see the truck open or the container open, the furniture boxes, the agents are holding up guns and taking guns out of the boxes and all stuff like that. So on the internet, on Facebook, that's what you see. You see the picture of this. You see this picture here, but then whoever posted, or whoever did the original post, it's their own words. Oh, Muslim refugees were sent weapons, or something. Muslims in Western countries or in America or whatever were sent weapons. You see, this is why we can't trust them. Blah blah blah. That kind of thing. But they post these pictures with it. But as I said, the story is false. The story is false. No weapons were sent to refugees. And like I said, and the story is old. The original story, I think, was like back from 2015 or something like that. So it was not sent for refugees. So all you haters out there who keep making up these garbage BS stories, trying to demonize Muslim immigrants or whatever, man, it's sad. It's sad that you gotta lie. But you know what? I've noticed this over the years that I've been engaging with these haters, is that they're willing to lie. I told you this before. They're willing to lie. They have no problem lying, right? They lie about verses of Quran. They lie about hadiths. They lie about what a scholar said, right? They're willing to lie and just to try to make Islam or Muslims look bad. They're willing to lie, which is unfortunate. So not only are they willing to lie when it comes to, you know, the Quran or Islamic sources, but they're also willing to make up stories to lie to demonize Muslims. Pamela Geller has posted false stories before. You know what I mean? Like I remember there was one that happened a few years ago where they claimed that some Muslims in Kenya blew up a town or something like that, and they show a picture of all these burnt up dead bodies. Come to find out, that story was fake as well. That what had happened, it was a factory. It was a factory that caught like a gas, you know, some kind of factory, and it exploded. It was a, you know, and all those people, all those were all the bodies that were from the factory. But it was not a terrorist attack. It was not a terrorist attack. But this is how they do. They're willing to lie, brothers and sisters. They're willing to lie. So, you know, always check your sources to make sure that, to confirm whether the story is true or whether these people are lying, just to demonize Muslims, to serve their bigotry. You know what I mean? Which is a very sad case. All right. So then the other site was this one here. This is from a local newspaper here in the United States. I believe this is the Florida Journal, I think it's called. Even though it's called Jacksonville.com, but I saw that if you look at the full site, it's I think it's a Florida Journal, Jacksonville, Florida Journal, and they also exposed that the story was false. So this is mainstream media letting us know, exposing that the story was a false story. It was not true. So it says the internet is abuzz with a story and photos of Greek border guards finding tons of guns and ammunition in containers disguised as furniture bound for Muslim immigrants. So that's what they're saying. That's what the story. That's the story that's buzzing around on that was buzzing around on the internet. And even that article shows that it's from 2016. The original story I think takes place in 2016. Okay, yeah. So even the even as you can see here, this is 2016. But like I said, I just saw it. Somebody but that goes to show you how this thing works. That this person just posted it the other day. 2 years later, and that story is still circulating, or people are still coming upon it, and it's still still throwing it around on the internet. So that's crazy, right? That's crazy that that's still happening. It really is. But as I've said many times before, brothers and sisters, this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with. This is the hatred. This is the bigotry. They're willing to lie. You know what I mean? They're willing to lie. They're willing to do whatever it takes in order to try to demonize Muslims in the faith. And like I said, I'm just amazed that they're willing to lie so bold-facedly. You know what I mean? They're not worried about being exposed. They're not worried about being embarrassed. I mean, it's crazy. But then again, a lot of the people, at least the people who follow the story, the ones who post it, who repost it, the ones who originally make the story, that's amazing. But the ones who repost it, because again, they are hungry for something to justify their hatred, hungry for something to justify their bigotry. You know what I'm saying? Shadid, when any Muslim argues and disagrees, why does he say they are Westernized? Well, the reason why, and I've seen that, not only does David Wood do that, but a lot of other haters do that as well. The reason why they do that is because, it's a way for them to try to discredit you, basically, by trying to say, oh, you're only saying that because you're a Western Muslim. In other words, they're implying that we Western Muslims, we don't really know what Islam is. We don't really know true Islam. And that the real Islam is what the Arabs and the Middle Easterners do and what ISIS does and Al Qaeda. And so because we're, I remember that, matter of fact, I saw David Wood, I think, explain that one time. That, you know, the reason why Western Muslims claim that Islam is peace, and we, you know, we're always bringing up the peaceful verses or whatever, is because we were raised in the West. That's his argument. His argument is we were raised in the West, so quite naturally we're going to try to, you know, make Islam acceptable to Western standards because we were raised and taught by the West. So that's why he and others do that as a way to try to discredit us Western Muslims by, you know, implying that we don't really know what Islam is and we're only saying that because we're raised by the West. But I've said it before to him that no, that's not the case, because the West is violent. The West teaches us that we solve our problems with violence. So no, we're not doing this because we're Western Muslims. You see what I'm saying? The West teaches us that violence is the answer, right? Don't they do that? Right? Like I've always said, remember what I said in some of the other shows, is that they only promote Martin Luther King and Gandhi and turn the other cheek and peaceful protest. They only promote that to us, meaning us, people of color, non-whites, right? People who they perceive as non-whites. They only push that to us. For them, it is revenge, retaliation, shoot 'em up cowboy, you know, Rambo, you know, that's for them. For them, it's about revenge. They don't talk that turn the other cheek, peaceful protest. There's a better way. They don't teach that to themselves. For us, yes, for the people that they do wrong, for the people that they violate, they want you to peaceful protest. They want you to peacefully protest. They want you to not be angry. They want you to take the high road, right? This is what they want for us. But when it comes to them, they don't take that. So I told David that, no, I don't speak this way because the West didn't teach me that. The West taught me to solve my problems with violence, right? That's what the West teaches us, right? The West teaches us that violence is the answer. Whether it was George Bush Sr. or George George W. Bush, right? After 9/11, nobody was talking about let's, you know, forgiveness and peace. Let's try to solve it peacefully. No, right? They was like, we're gonna get them, we're gonna bomb them, we're gonna round them up. What else? I forgot what cowboy statement that George Bush made, right? But that's how it is for them. See, so no, the West does not teach us that. Then plus, even if you go back, when Martin Luther King was peacefully protested, what did they do to Martin Luther King and the other protesters? They were beaten. They were blasted with water hoses. They had police dogs made to attack them and bite them, and beaten and some of them were killed. So no, the West has not shown us that, you know, that violence is not the way, and that's why we talk like this. No, we talk like this because this is what Islam actually teaches, right? This is what Islam actually teaches. So that's why we say this. And I always tell them that that's why when I quote, I try to find Middle Eastern scholars to back me up. So that way they can't say, oh, you're only saying that because you're a Western Muslim. No, I said, look, I got Middle Eastern scholars backing me up, backing my position up. So it has nothing to do with, oh, because we're from the West and the Middle East is doing. No, even Middle Eastern scholars say that, you know, Al Qaeda is wrong or ISIS is wrong, and that Islam is, you know, talks about fighting in self-defense and whatever. You see? So that way they can't run that game. They can't run that gambit on me or us that, oh, you're only saying that because you're a Western Muslim. See what I'm saying? Sammy 701, wa alaikum salam, bro. Wa alaikum salam. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. So yeah, you know what I mean? So that's the answer to that question. That's why when you argue with them and you're telling them that Islam is not that way, that's why they say you're a Western Muslim. It's like it's like an insult. It's an insult because the implication is you don't really know Islam because you're a Westerner. You know, you're only speaking that peace and all that because you're a Westerner, and you don't know what real Islam is. The Middle Eastern Muslims, they really know what it is. That's the implication. So that's why they say that. That's why they say that. Okay, so understand that. That's the reason why that's said, legend killer. Okay, but as I said, don't fall for that. Don't fall for that trick. Do not fall for that trick. But so back to the main subject, you know, which ties into that. But that ties into, again, that, you know, as I've said to you, brothers and sisters, on many shows, that this is what is at the heart of the matter. That the anti-Muslim Islamophobia, all of that, it's about bigotry. And this is why I make the charge that when they make these claims against Islam, that it's bigotry. Because they, a lot of times I get asked that question, you know, why do you always say it's bigotry? Because that's what it is. See? Because it's more than just religion, it's more than just religious criticism. They always claim that, oh, you know, when we make religious criticism, you claim it's bigotry. No, I don't. I claim it's bigotry because of stories like this. This shows us this is bigotry. You're trying to demonize us by putting out fake stories that, oh, you know, weapons are being sent to the refugees in Western countries so they can attack you, so they can, you know, so they can be like a Trojan horse and attack you by a sneak attack while hiding in your country, pretending to be your friend, pretending to need help. Meanwhile, they're conspiring to kill you with weapons being sent. And the story's fake. It's bigotry. So that's why I say it's bigotry, because this is tied in. A lot of times these stories are connected to their so-called religious criticisms of Islam, right? Because that's what they'll do. They'll show you this story, and then they'll tie it into what? To their claims that the reason why the weapons are sent is because Islam teaches to kill the non-believer, right? That's how they'll tie it in. So it's more than just religious criticism. You're promoting bigotry by trying to demonize Muslims with these BS claims that you make of conspiracies by refugees, claims that you know, we're commanded to kill all non-believers, or that we're supposed to force you to accept Islam, all these different things, right? All these different things, and this story is just another proof that the so-called criticism is not criticism, it's bigotry. You're promoting bigotry against Muslims. You're promoting unjustified intolerance against Muslims by making up these fake stories. But that's how the game is played with the haters. That's how the game is played. What's this? If you're not, yeah, remember that one, right? If you're not with us, you're against us. All that kind of stuff like that. From Legend Killers, why does David Wood spend 24 hours a day, 365 days a year after year? Oh boy. Well, I mean, again, the reason that a lot of these haters, like Pamela Geller, Robert Spencer, that's all they do, is because of the bigotry and the hatred. Like the sister on some of the 2 shows ago that we talked about, just Sister Hoda Katibi talked about, people are making money off of it, Legend. Right? The Islamophobia industry is a money maker. I talked about this also, again, on previous shows. That it's hundreds of $1 million industry, right? Hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions, maybe even millions. It's a multi-million-dollar industry. People are making money off of anti-Muslim bigotry, Legend. This is why David and others spend their money. This, you know, and again, this is why I'm telling you, we as Muslims, we need to match as well, right? They are willing to donate to help David do what he does. Like I told you, I saw when they used to go to the Arab festival in Detroit. I was reading on his website that people, how much they donated. People were telling, hey, I donated this much. I donated $1,700 or whatever. They donated for him and Nabil to go. He didn't have to spend money to go on that trip. People were telling us that they donated money for him to go to the Arab festival in Detroit and taunt Muslims and do their thing there, right? They donated for them to go to the IFMA conference so that David Wood could go there and do his thing there. They're supported. I told you about how they talked about how Robert Spencer gets, some $100,000 or more a year, so he can write books against Islam, make videos against Islam, do lectures about Islam. They get paid to do it. There's money to be made. Why do you think you see all these fake, phony, so-called ex-Muslims now coming out being the ex-Muslim, you know, ex-Muslim this and ex-Muslim that, speaking bad against Islam. There's money to be made. Book deals. Ian Hersey. Book deals. Remember a few weeks ago we did the refutation against that lady Annie Cyrus. Again, another supposed ex-Muslim who left Islam because of the horribleness of it. And what is she doing? She gets speaking engagements. She got her own little, she's with the organization. They get money. So wouldn't you, if you were getting paid to do that, do it 24/7, 365 days a year, right? And that's why I told you, brothers, we have to match them. If we want to be effective in our efforts to counter their lies and misinformation, we need to up the ante just the same. But I can't do it 24 hours a day, 365. I got to do it like this, right? I got to do it whenever I have free time to do it. I wish I could spend the time to match their efforts and give the effort in return. But unfortunately, I can't. Bills got to be paid. Other work has to be done, right? That's why I ask you, brothers and sisters, to help. To help. The Christians are willing to help. They're willing to donate. Right? They're willing to donate to their dawah efforts for their people. They're willing to donate, whether it's to do the Christian missionary work or for people who want to do anti-Muslim work. They're willing to give the money. We have to be willing to do the same, brothers and sisters. And I know I talk about it every show. I don't want to sound like I'm begging and everything, but I'm saying this is real. You know what I mean? I talk about it every show. I give a quick announcement, maybe 1 or 2, 3 throughout the show to talk about please donate, please donate. I don't get donations all the time. You know what I mean? And again, please believe, those who have donated, I appreciate it. I thank you. Those who have donated. But the donations that I get, I mean, mashallah, whatever we get is great and wonderful. But I'll just put it this way: they don't match what David and these other people are getting, which is why I still have to continue to do the show on my free time when I can. Mashallah. But for real, I implore you, if you want us to match the efforts that these people do, it takes funding. It takes sponsorship. Right? It takes funding and it takes sponsorship. I'm relying on you, brothers. I'm asking you to sponsor me. Right? I'm asking you to be my sponsors. I'm asking you to be my funders. Fund me. Right? So that way I can still have that freedom to do what I do. Because some of these organizations, some of these people, I know they get Zionist funding. Right? Some of these people, I'm sure they get Zionist funding. Right? I'm sure they do. I'm sure they get Zionist funding. I'm sure. I have no doubts about it. Especially people like Pamela Geller or Robert Spencer. I'm sure they get big time Zionist funding to do what they do. So in order for us to be able to match them, again, we have to put up the same. We have to be willing to donate to brothers like myself or sisters or people like Sammy or whoever, Brother Shabir Ali. Those of us who are out there trying to do this work. It takes funding. That's the reality. It takes funding. You know, and again, it's part of zakat. Zakat can be given towards those who do dawah. So with that said, if you, again, help your brother out, you can donate anytime. You can donate during the show. There are links in the description of this video right now as I'm speaking. You can donate right now while we're live on air to the links, either through the website, directly to PayPal. If you want to get something in return, you can buy the book. So on Amazon Kindle, you can buy my book. Help me through buying my book. Help me through buying my DVD. Or just donate. If you don't want it in return, you want to just do it for the pleasure of Allah only, then you can donate through any of the 2 links, the website or through the PayPal. But understand that in order to make an impact on a larger scale, it takes funding. So that answers your question. That's why he does it. He can do it 24 hours, 365 days a year, year after year, because there's funding. They get a lot of these people. I don't think David Wood himself may not get as much as the Robert Spencers and the Pamela Gellers or the Wali. I remember I saw one thing that I talked about this before. I think I saw one thing, or Wali Shubat. They said he was getting $13,000 to do a lecture. He gets $13,000 per lecture, the article said. I don't know how true that is, but it said he gets $13,000 to do lectures at colleges. $13,000. Are you hearing me? He gets $13,000 per lecture at a university. At a university, he gets $13,000 just to talk. $13,000, not $1,300. I remember the article said $13,000 per lecture. So you wonder why these people are going after Islam? You wonder why they're trying to demonize Muslims? Look at that. I've never gotten anywhere close to that in any of my speaking engagements or my debates. Got nowhere close to that. Nowhere near that. Nowhere near that. But that's why they do this. That's why because they're getting paid. And they may hate Islam. They may hate it, but at the same time, they can make money off their hatred. Right? At the same time, they can make money off of their hatred. So, you know, that's the reality of it, brothers and sisters. And if you go to my, as a matter of fact, if you go to my, I don't know, I know I talk about it on my donation page. On the donation page of my website, which is the first link in the description area, I have a little summary about how, you know, these people are making money, man. They're making multi-million, you know, it's multi-million-dollar industry. Matter of fact, there was a story about it on RTV, right? RT News or whatever. Where they what's that guy? What's the guy's name? Max Blumenthal, I think his name is. I don't want to misquote, but he's a young man who exposes, you know, the Zionists a lot. He exposes the Zionists a lot, and he was on the show and he talked about it. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me see. While we're talking, since we're here, since we're already done with the other subject, let me see. Let me see if I can find that news report and let you guys take a quick look at it so you can see what I'm talking about. Let's see here. Let's see. Islamophobia industry. Islamophobia industry. Let's see what comes up here. The Islamophobia industry. Ah, yes, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, Max Blumenthal. Max Blumenthal. Let's see if I can.
Joining me now for more.
See if I can pull this so we can watch the video. Wow, look at that. The show turns into a whole nother. At the top, I may have to change the title a little bit. That's fine, no problem. Not a problem. All right, let's see here. We're gonna add this one. And I'm not sure. I might have played this for you guys before, one of the other shows, but I don't know. If I did, oh, well, we'll do it again. We get to watch it again.
Joining me now for more on who's behind the business of fear-mongering, author of Republican Gomorrah, Inside the Movement That Shattered the Party, Max Blumenthal. So Max, even though we've kind of heard about Islamophobia recently, it seems like, especially when you think of the Cordoba House in New York, you claim that this is a movement that's kind of been gaining ground for years. When did it exactly start, and what was it in response to?
Yeah, it's funny because polls from the Pew polling organization, which is a reputable polling organization, show American opinion of Muslims at an all-time low, and we're almost 10 years after 9/11. So where is this coming from? It's actually a sustained campaign that began well before 9/11 and has reached its peak with the plan to establish an Islamic Community Center at Cordoba House. And what I pointed out in my article, The Great Islamic Crusade, at tomdispatch.com and at my blog, maxblumenthal.com, is that there is a network, an organized network that stretches across continents that has incited this campaign against Muslim citizens of America and which is profiting off of it and has its own network of funders.
And so tell me a little bit more about who's behind this kind of fear-mongering, I guess, say, and what exactly is their agenda? How did they manage to take what they believed and turn it into what's almost considered mass hysteria in the United States?
All right, I wanted to pause it right there. Now, you heard him, right? He said it crosses the borders, it crosses across the ocean, and they are funded and sustained. Right? They're funded and sustained, brothers and sisters. This is the seriousness of this. And I've said this before. If we as Muslims, if we want to counter this anti-Islamic movement with the truth, because we have money. Like I said, we Muslims, we have money. Whether it be oil money from Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states, or the fact that many Muslims in Western countries, many of us are doctors. Many of us are pharmacists. We're in fields where we make money. Many times more so than the non-Muslim population. Many Muslims, many immigrant Muslims and Muslim immigrant families, many of them have more degrees than the non-Muslim native population. Many of them are earning more money. We're in fields. We as Muslims, I mean, we as the Muslims, you know, not myself included, but we as Muslims as a whole are in fields that are money-making fields, professional fields. Like I said, many Muslims are doctors. Many Muslims are in the medical field. Many Muslims are in pharmacy, go into pharmacy, a good you know, money-making. Computer programming is another one, another high area where Muslims go into, right? So whether it's the Gulf states and that oil money, or whether it's just immigrants in the West, whether it be in the UK or other places in Europe or in the United States and Canada, we as a people have the ability to do this. We're not a poor people where we can't keep up with these people. What's interesting on the reverse is that because many of the non-Muslims, the Christians, etc., the Zionists, the Zionists may be different. The Zionists may have a good money. A lot of money, but a lot of the Christian people, they're not wealthy, right? They're not wealthy. If you see like some of these programs where you see the TV preachers, you know, asking people to send in a donation for some special holy water or some kind of miracle cloth or whatever little trinkets they make up. A lot of times those are just your regular average everyday Christians who are not wealthy, but they're willing to give their money towards the TV evangelists, the TV preacher. They're willing to send him money for the fake holy water, for the fake miracle cloth, for the fake miracle coin. I've seen so many different ones that they have. But these guys get money from these people. Yet we as Muslims, we as a people, in general, in the West, we are in fields that are known as professional fields where we make decent salaries. So why aren't we willing to give in the cause to counter the Islamophobia industry? That's what it takes. Like I said, yeah, I've been out here for years talking, but how much of an impact do I make? MashaAllah, I'm thankful for the fans that I have. I'm thankful for the people that, you know, follow me and send me messages. You know, alhamdulillah, and if that's what it is, then MashaAllah, no problem. I'm grateful for that. I get many emails from brothers and sisters telling me how my work, my videos, however small they are, but you know, that it helped them. It helped them maintain their faith. They were willing to, they were getting ready to leave Islam because of David Wood's videos or whoever's videos. But then they saw my video and mashallah, it touched them and they saw the evidence and it made them remain Muslim. So that's the best reward, or among the best reward. I love that some people send me messages say, hey, my video helped them to remain Muslim or brought them back to Islam, you know, because of the information out there. They were so ashamed. But then when they saw my videos, mashallah, it brought them back because they saw the facts, they saw the truth, because they didn't see anybody responding to the David Woods, the Pamela Gellers, the Robert Spencers. And there are others out there. Myself, like I said, Sami Zatardi, Shabir Ali, what's another? Bassam, I forgot his name. Bassam, you know the brother Bassam, what's his name? Bassam Zawadi, I think his name is right. That brother. There's no new brothers out there. Remember the brothers, and were telling me some shows ago about the brother, what's his name? Brother Akil. right? That's a brother's name, a brother named Akil, who's been doing some refutations against David Wood. So there are people out there. You got the YouTube channel Muslim. What's the brother's name? Muslim by Choice. He likes to post videos, right? He likes to post videos. Right? He likes to post videos, you know, about you know, debates and stuff like that. So, you know, there are a lot of us out there that are trying to do it. But as far as I know, all of us are on a smaller scale. As far as I know, there's none among us that, you know, that have the reach of a Robert Spencer. You know, none of us that I know of have a reach of a Pamela Geller. You know what I mean? Maybe Brother Shabir. Maybe Brother Shabir. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Brother Shabir Ali. You know, but I don't know. I don't know what his international appeal is. You know, I don't know. But you know, as far as I know, none of us have that big platform like that where we are being invited to CNN to speak on CNN or to speak on Fox News. You know, like Robert Spencer. Robert Spencer, he goes on Fox News. He's on CNN. He's on, you know, mainstream media. We need that. That's we definitely need that. We definitely need to be on Fox News or CNN speaking out and challenging these people, right? We definitely need to get that far. But we are where we are as of now. But that's what it takes. It takes, you know, the funding so that we can make our platforms bigger and expand our operations, you know, our efforts in getting out the information, you know. So again, I know it's long, but that answers your question. What's his name again? Legend Killer, right? I think it's you, Legend Killer. That's the answer to that question. Why about, you know, about spending hours, right? Why did you spend hours, spend 24 hours a day, 365 days a year after year after year, in his entire time? Right, you look on his channel. I think, oh, I don't know. I don't even know if he has does he even have a video where he's just talking about Christianity? I don't know. You know, most of it seem like 99% of his videos, he's attacking Islam on his David Wood on his channel. More so than preaching Christianity. You know what I'm saying? More so than preaching Christianity. So the answer to that, and like I said, the reason why all these other people do it is because they're being sponsored to do so. Somebody's behind the scenes giving these people money. Somebody's sponsoring these people. You know? Somebody's definitely giving them that money. And so I'm, like I said it before and I say it again, I'm asking for the same thing. I realized I had recognized this years ago that in order for whether it's myself or Sammy or whoever is out there on behalf of the Muslims trying to put it out, that it takes, you know, funding to expand the media platform to get out there and you know, get the information out there and have a larger reach, like the people that we are familiar who are anti-Islam. You know what I'm saying? So let's watch a little bit more of the Max Blumenthal. Let's watch a little bit more about it.
United States by some.
Yeah, I mean, you see this in Europe a lot with figures like Geert Wilders, the Dutch politician, who's basically a proto-fascist who calls Islam a retarded religion and has proposed what he calls a head rag tax on Muslim women, which is completely undemocratic. And that's spreading to the United States through the funding of people like Aubrey Chernick, a little-known sugar daddy of the Islamophobic movement, who used to be a trustee at a think tank run out of the pro-Israel lobby, AIPAC, but who funds everything from Camera, a pro-Israel media monitoring group, to the American Jewish Committee, to the Anti-Defamation League, which opposed the...
Okay, so now you heard of, in a case like this, it's one person, all right, or one among many, but at least, you know, it's some people who have a lot of money, single individuals who have a lot of money, who can fund these organizations to do that. And so look at me, little me trying to keep up with people like that who have funding to fund an organization with a big media platform. And I'm trying to keep up with them. I do that. I'm not going to give up, of course. I do what I can do. But you see, you heard what he talked about. There's this man, the man he just mentioned, Aubrey, right? Must be a very wealthy man, but he has enough wealth. He has enough extra wealth to fund anti-Islamic organizations. And so we need the same. We need some who are going to help fund us in our efforts to counter the lies and the misinformation. Whether it's one individual, or if we don't have that like that, which I'm sure we do, but if we don't have any one individual who's willing to sponsor myself or others, then it's going to take the effort of many of us. Right? If we don't have one individual like that who can donate like he does to those organizations, then it's going to take a concerted effort then for the Muslims to give to platforms like myself or others to counter the anti-Islamic industry. Let's listen to a little bit more.
Community Center at Ground Zero, to various figures like Robert Spencer, who is the key voice of pseudo-scholarly Islamophobia in the United States, who has gotten almost $1 million from this Aubrey Chernick character, who simultaneously runs a security consulting firm. So you could see why he would want to gin up this fear about American Muslims, because that
you heard that, right? You heard that? I was short. I said he was getting a few $100,000, almost $1 million, almost $1 million. Now you wonder, and now that goes into your question, Legend. How can they do this 24 hours, 365 year after year? How can they? That's how they can do it. They have some people behind them, behind the scenes, giving them money. So Robert Spencer can write a book every year about Islam, about the Prophet, attacking Islam, attacking the Prophet, attacking Islam, attacking Muslims. He can write a book every year, twice a year, whatever. He can write several books. Why? Because he has somebody who's taking care of him. So that way he has the free time to do that. Right? The work that I do, I'm doing it in my spare time when I have it. Like times like now. Now my car is in trouble. Now I got to take the time to do that. Right? I got to take the time to do that. I can't kick back and work on books like I want to. Yeah, I am working on books though, but you know, it takes time. Why? Because I don't have somebody sponsor. I got to do, I got to work in between. I got to use my free time, however small it is, to try to write a little bit at a time. So it takes me longer. But no, somebody's giving him almost $1 million. He can sit back and write his book. He could probably finish the book within a month. Right? He could probably write a book within a month. Because he's getting taken care of. He's doing these speaking engagements. So I hope you brothers and sisters understand the seriousness of what I'm talking about. Right? I hope you understand the seriousness. And see that, you see, there are people out there who they have the foot soldiers, the Spencers and the Davids and the Pamela Gellers and whatever. Those are the foot soldiers. Behind the foot soldiers is the funders, the ones who sponsor them and give them the money so they can go and do the work. We need the same. We need the same thing, brothers and sisters. Simple as that. Simple as that. Let's listen to a little bit more.
Leverage that into profits for his security consulting firm, which is designed to consult for law enforcement agencies on terrorism or the imagined threat of it.
And how did the media pick up on all this hype? We saw in Marina's story, it seems like a perfect storyline for all these mainstream media channels. There's an easy villain, you can use all your dramatic graphics and dramatic music. Are there ties between the pro-Israeli lobby and the media?
Well, I mean, this did start out of the pro-Israeli lobbies, I pointed out in my piece, and it wasn't necessarily about Muslims. It was about the fear of pro-Palestinian organizing on campus. So the major pro-Israel groups started a group called the David Project to do media on this topic. Then simultaneously, the David Project moved into Boston in 2004, where plans were in the works to build an Islamic community center very similar to the one being built at Ground Zero that caused all these rallies and all this hatred. And they began sort of creating a blueprint for their broader strategy against this community center in Boston. And they went to friendly media outlets like the Boston Herald, a right-wing paper, Fox News, and they had their own group of experts, people like Stephen Emerson, who was run out of the journalism, mainstream journalism, because of his tendency to cook facts about the terrorist intentions of Muslims, and became sort of an expert funded by this network of Islamophobic sugar daddies and promoted by groups like the David Project to incite against community centers, to incite against Muslim activists, and it built over the course of 5 years from that little campaign in Boston through several local campaigns with this organized network of media experts who are not established academics, who have no credentials in journalism or academia, to gin up this imaginary fear of Muslim Americans forming terror cells in cities and being determined to implant Sharia law in our justice system, which is ridiculous.
And, you know, beyond the media, it seems like even politicians have kind of jumped on this Islamophobic bandwagon. We had people like Sarah Palin, who was tweeting about the Cordoba House. Newt Gingrich also said, you know, a couple controversial quotes about it. We even have a United States Attorney General Eric Holder talking about it. I believe we have a soundbite. If we could take a listen to that.
The threat has changed from simply worrying about foreigners coming here to worrying about people in the United States, American citizens, raised here, born here. You didn't worry about this even 2 years ago.
So how did these people get all of these politicians or even the government to start taking notice of their campaign? And what do you think?
Yeah, mainly Republican politicians have figured out that this is a pretty good wedge issue. It's a good hot button issue. I mean, you can't talk about, you can't be anti-Semitic towards Jews in the United States. You can't be racist towards black people, at least openly. So they need someone to demonize, someone to scapegoat for their constituency, which lives primarily in you know, racially monolithic areas like Oklahoma, which just passed a resolution this election season banning Sharia law, as if anyone's going to implement Sharia law in Oklahoma. So Sarah Palin has called the Ground Zero Islamic Community Center a stab in the heart, borrowing language that Hitler used after World War I about Jews in Germany stabbing Germany in the back. I don't think she meant to borrow it, but it really reminds me of that. Newt Gingrich, who is a presidential frontrunner for the Republicans this year, appeared at the rally against the Ground Zero Community Center beside Geert Wilders, the Dutch fascist politician, and several shady characters like Pamela Geller, who calls Muslims Nazis. I mean, so you see them moving in the same circles as far-right extremists, and it's working at least for their base in scapegoating a group of Americans.
Yeah, really quickly, how come Americans are buying into this? There's so much going on in this country right now. We have people living off food stamps. There's such high unemployment. Muslims as the scapegoat, I mean, that seems logical. Why are so many Americans buying into it?
It's a great way to distract from the fact that the Republicans' economic policies have helped get average Americans into the mess that they're in, and that their economic policies are the reason why people are being evicted from their homes and their mortgage, and they can't pay off their mortgages. And we saw this strategy in the 1950s in the Deep South to prevent poor whites and poor African Americans from getting together and forming a coalition against the Southern oligarchs by scaring poor whites about poor blacks being, Martin Luther King being a communist, and so on. So this is just a continuation of the scare tactics we've been seeing for a long time, but it's time to show that it's part of an organized network and not actually a reflection of reality.
It's really interesting to take a look back at sort of how this campaign started. Max Blumenthal, thanks so much for your analysis.
Thanks for having me.
Joining me now.
So there you have it, brothers and sisters. there you have it, right? There you have it. It's a very big industry, a lot of money to be made, a lot of profit to be made by demonizing Islam. And but it not only is it about demonizing, but it serves their agenda, right? As you heard, it serves their agenda, right? The bigotry, the hatred, it serves their agenda in many ways. It helps distract from the social issues that America or Western countries are facing. In some cases, right, it helps with the security and defense ministry industry because, you know, if there's this threat, well, it justifies the need for more funding for weapons and for security services and all these things like that. So there's a lot of money to be made in it, you know, and then you have the individuals who profit off of it from writing books or whatever. They're making money. So why would they stop? So if we care about ourselves and our well-being as Muslims, we need to step up to the plate. Those of us who are out here, like myself and others, who are doing the work, who do the refutations, who are willing to do the debates, who are willing to speak out, we need funding just the same. We need funding just the same. That's the reality. It takes, you know, there's no doubt about it. It can be done on a lower scale like this, like on YouTube or whatever, but that's on a lower scale. What's our goal? Our goal is to spread the message out more, to get the word out to a larger number of people. And to do that, it would have to get beyond YouTube. Right? To do that, we have to get out there into the mainstream. Make enough noise so that the mainstream media hears us, and then we can be called to speak on Fox News, to speak on CNN or MSNBC or whatever other media outlets there are out there. So that's all I'm saying, since Legend brought it up about why do people like David and others speak on Islam so much, most of the time, all of the time, and that's why. Okay, and that's why. And you know, just to tie this back into the original subject of tonight's show, as I said, that plays into making up the fake stories like tonight's topic, which was that supposedly weapons were being sent to Muslim refugees in Western countries disguised as furniture. That's part of the Islamophobia industry as well, to promote hatred, to demonize Muslims. And so, as I said, if we care about our well-being in these non-Muslim countries that we're in, and we don't want our rights to be violated, then we have to get the word out. We cannot remain silent. We must speak out, or we must help those who are willing to speak out, like myself, Sammy Zatari, and others. All right? So with that, we're going to go ahead and end the show. So one last time, I'll say it again before I end the show. First, thank you all for tuning in, right? Thank you all for checking out the show. And, you know, I thank you for your continued support. You know, I thank you for your continued support. And lastly, again, to help our platform, as we spoke about tonight, you can make a donation to the links that are available in the description of this video, through my website, directly through my PayPal link. You can purchase my book, He Was Never God, How Scripture Shows That Jesus Was Fully God, Only God, How Scripture Shows That Jesus Was Fully a Man and Not God at all. You can purchase our DVB, our digital video book, Taqiyya, The Lie They Made Against Islam, which is a thorough refutation of the claims that Taqiyya is a supposed teaching that allows Muslims to lie and deceive non-Muslims in order to promote Islam, which is a complete lie, complete falsehood. But that DVD gives you the facts that you could use for yourself, or if you're a non-Muslim looking to learn the facts, that DVD will inform you on what the facts really are about it. So you can help me to continue to do this work and expand our platform through those means. One more time, the links are in the description of this video. And as I always say before I end every show, I cannot see when you donate during the show unless you do the super chat. But if you have donated during the show, I always, again, ahead of time, say thank you. and may Allah reward you, and I'm very grateful for that. But always remember that if you cannot donate during the show, donations can be made at any time. You don't have to wait for the show. All right, you do not have to wait for the show. I leave the links in the description of all the videos that we've done, at least from the live shows that we've done, and you can always come and donate at any time, any day during the week, any time during the week, any day, any time. It can be done. So if you can't do it now, you can donate at a later time. You can donate later tonight, tomorrow, in the morning, next, later on in the week, whenever. Okay, so keep that in mind. You do not have to wait for the shows. Right? You don't have to wait for the live shows to donate. A donation can be made at any time. But please understand, though, the seriousness of it. How the funding is necessary, as you heard about the people who are against us, who are trying to demonize us, who want our destruction, who want to promote bigotry against us, who want to violate our human rights, right? Who want to violate our human rights or the rights of whatever country we're in against us. There's a concerted effort. There's money backing these people, and if we're going to counter that, we need the same effort to be put by Muslims to back people like myself and others who are speaking out and refuting and debating and doing these type of things. Okay, brothers and sisters. Let me see. Was there a last comment here? Just like there are lots of crossover between neocon, Zionists, and Christian apologetics, how much scope is there in your view for pooling efforts against war? Wait. How much scope is there in your view for pooling efforts against war, pro-Palestine, and Islamic apologetics? How much scope is there in your view for pooling efforts? I don't. To me, it seems very small, right? It seems very small. I mean, now as far as anti-war, well, the anti-war is more general. It's not necessarily a Muslim thing, now, because there have been, sometimes there are organized protests against, when the war was going on, stuff like that. The pro-Palestinian, they seem like they may have a little bit of a movement going on too, because a lot of times I see that going on colleges and universities. Now, as far as the Islamic apologetics, though, from what I've seen, it's very small. In that field, very small. Like I said, whenever I get called for a debate, it is the host who is the one that usually takes care of me, pays for my flight, my hotel stay, gives me a little honorarium. It's them, right? It's usually not a fact. All the time it's them, except for one case. The one case where I had when I debated in it was one of the times I went to Detroit. And we were at what was that, at the Ford University or Fordham University. That was a concerted effort between the Muslim Student Association and the Christian students. So they paid for everything. Those two together paid for paid for everything. But most of the time in apologetics, in my case, it has been the Christian host who call for the debate, and then of course they take care of everything. Other than that, and of course, and at least now in recent weeks, some of you have donated, a little bit here and there, saying, but in overwhelming case, it's sponsoring for Islamic apologetics, as far as I've seen, is small to nothing. And again, in my case, I don't know if some of the other brothers involved have a better, get more, or, have a better case in that. But from my own experience, yes, it's very small from what I've seen. And again, whenever I do a debate, it's because the Christian host, they called me and they set up the debate and they paid for everything like that. So, as I said, I wish I could sponsor some debate. I would like to be able to call people to debate and sponsor the debate myself. You know what I mean? If I had the funds in, then I wouldn't have to wait. I could say, you know what, I want to debate Robert Spencer again, and I have the funding. I'll pick the venue. I can invite him and pay for him to come and debate instead of me waiting for somebody to set up a debate between myself and whoever. You see what I'm saying? And also, too, remember we talked about the other show about debating new people instead of debating the same people, the James White and David Wood, whoever. Debate new people. If I had the funding, then I could do that as well. I could pick new people. right? We could find new people to debate instead of debating the same people over and over again. Because the only reason why that happens is because what? Those are the organizations with the money able to sponsor the debates. So if I had the means to do my own debates, sponsor my own, and set up in my own debates, then I could set up my own debates. I can get the lecture hall or whatever, and then I could call whoever I want to debate. Say, look, I want to call so-and-so to debate. Now, whether they accept is a different case, but at least we would have the funds and the sponsorship to do that. So that way, we, like you said, we could start debating the new people instead of debating the same people over and over again. We could say, okay, hey, well, there's this new Christian preacher who's talking stuff about Islam. Let's call him out for a debate. There's this new guy here or there that we could call and have more interesting debates with new people. You understand? So those are the things. That's my vision. If you sponsor me, that's my vision with it. My vision is to do that, is to start going out, sponsoring my own debates, making up, having new topics, new subjects to debate with new people, bringing in new people to debate with. So that's my vision, you know, what I would do with the sponsorship. And then of course also we'd be able to put out more material, right? We'd be able to put out more material, more books, more DVDs, documentaries, or whatever we can do like these people are, right? These people have videos and documentaries and have demonizing Islam and all that. So I would like to be able to do that too. You know, create a documentary about, you know, whatever issue that we want to put forward. You see what I'm saying? So that's my vision. So if you sponsor me, brothers and sisters, that's the vision that I have. That's where I want to take it. That's where I want to take it. So again, one more time, if you want to make a donation, you can make a donation to the description, to the links in the description of this video. Or you can help me through the means, like I said, the book that I did do. It's a small book. It's a small book, but you can purchase the book. That'll help me. Get my DVB. That'll help me. Yes, I talked about that. About the misquoted Quran. I'm still working on that as well. I don't know if you missed it, but I talked about this on a few shows, that the holdup now is that my all my files were on a hard drive that I had. My hard drive went out on me sometime toward late last year. I think it went out on me about September or October. Welcome, brother Yusuf Chevy, right? My hard drive went out on me that had all the footage, all the video footage for misquoting Quran, all the files. The hard drive went out on me. So that's the holdup now. As I've spoken, again, I don't know if you may have missed that show. I've spoken about it on a few shows. What I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to save up some money to either I can pay somebody to, you know, like pay a somebody who, you know, who knows how to recover lost files, which is very expensive. I could do that. The other option that I was thinking to try is to try a platter swap myself, where basically, which is what the experts would do anyway, but I would just do it myself. But I need to get another hard drive that matches the one that I have, the one that went out. You can take out, you know, the metal plates, that have the metal discs inside the hard drive. You can swap them. You take them out of one and you put it into another hard drive, but it has to be the same make and model. There's a place here called Micro Center where I'm at in Georgia, where they sell hard drives for you to do that. So I would basically need to get another hard drive, and I could try to swap the platters myself and see if I could recover the information myself. So those are the two. So right now I'm trying to get up the money to get the other hard drives, right? I have two hard drives that had my files on it. Both of them went out on me because the computer I had it for quite some time. So it finally went out on me. Unfortunately, I didn't, you know, because I've never had the hard drives fail on me. I've never had the hard drives fail on me. So I didn't think it, you know, I thought I had plenty of time, but unfortunately, the hard drive failed on me, and all my files, I didn't back them up on another drive. They were all on that one drive because I you know, like I said, I just didn't think that it would happen. I thought I had more time, but the hard drive went out on me. So now my files are stuck on that drive. So like I said, that's what's the holdup for anybody who's wondering, because I did have some people who donated to me a few years back when I was working, or when I first put out that I was going to do the project. You know what I'm saying? So I want everybody to know that your money is not wasted. It's not going to waste. It has not been misused. I have every intention to finish it. But that's what happened. The hard drive went out on me, and I'm trying to recover it. So I told everyone that my best option is to recover it. I pray that I'll be able to recover it so I don't have to start over again. If I cannot recover the files, though, I want everybody to be clear on this. If I cannot recover the files, or the drive is so damaged that files cannot be recovered, I'm going to have to start over again. I don't want to do that because I did so much work already. I do not want to start over again. Now, if I have to start over again, now it shouldn't take me as long as it took me, because when I was doing it, I was doing research. I had to research. I'm studying. I'm editing. So it was taking some time. But if I have to restart, if I can't recover the files, the misquoting Quran files, and I have to start over again, it shouldn't take me. It won't take me as long, because all the research, I've already done the research to answer all the things about the Quran, the misquoting Quran, and all that stuff like that. So all I would have to do is basically film the footage again, because it's going to be a DVD, and it was footage that I filmed. I filmed myself talking. There's video, there's verses that I'm putting on the screen. There's a bunch of editing and stuff like that. So if I cannot recover the files, I will have to start over again. But it should not take me as long as the first time, because now I don't have to study and research. All that was done. All the information is done. I'll just have to now film the footage again, and then edit the screen, edit the video footage with the verses and all that stuff like that. So I want everybody to know, those of you who donated to that project some years ago, I'm making it clear to you, your money has not been misused. Your donation is not going to waste. The problem is the hard drive with the file. The video footage is right there. If I can recover it, I can have it finished perhaps by, well, it depends on when I get the money to do it. But if I can get the funds to do that within the next month or so, I could have the misquoting Quran finished at least by the middle of the year, by the middle of this year, by the summertime. Okay. If I can't do that though, if I do get the materials, or be able to to get somebody to try to recover it, and it cannot be recovered, then I'm going to have to start all over again. And I estimate, if I have to start over again, that I should be able, inshallah, to finish it by, after redoing everything, by the end of this year. So I'm praying that I can recover the files and that I can finish it by the summer. If I can't, I'm going to have to do it all over again. At least, again, the filming and all of that, and the editing of the verses and all that, I'll have to do that over again, and I would estimate that I could have it done by the end of 2018. So again, with the best outcome by the summer of 2018. Worst case scenario, by the end of 2018. Okay, so that answers the question about the misquoting Quran project. It is in the works. It's still there. It's sitting right on those hard drives. But that's the issue with that. Okay, that's the issue with that. Let's see, what's some other comments here? Have you think about your new? You know what? Yeah, I still have that in the works too. The other channel that I talked about some time ago, the Islamic Inspiration channel. I still want to do that as well. Just right now, as I said, my time is, it's limited, man. Free time for other stuff is limited. Free time for other stuff is limited, unfortunately, at this moment. You know what I'm saying? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm like everyone else. I mean, we're working. I'm working. But that's why I'm saying that in order to do this type of work, these projects on a regular basis, because like when I first got on YouTube, when I first started on YouTube, it was the same thing. It was just it was just on the side. It was just something when I had some free time. We did some stuff on the side, and when we had free time. Right. And as I explained, as the family, as I had started, my family started growing, had some more children, whatever, then your responsibility becomes greater, and you got to work more, and like that. So then my free time became more limited. You know what I'm saying? So to do this now, and like I said, there's a lot of YouTubers now who YouTube is their platform. You know what I mean? And what I'm doing is not something strange or out of the place. There are many YouTubers who make a living doing YouTube, right? Whether it's comedic stuff, whether they're doing informational stuff on different issues, politics or whatever. There are people who YouTube is now they're basically like a TV station or a TV channel where they do shows on a regular basis. They have sponsors who sponsor their show or their program, and you know they that's what they do for a living. You know what I'm saying? So you know, I want to do this because there's a need for it. You know, not just for the fun of it, but there's a need. There's a need, as you heard from Max Blumenthal. There's an effort out there against Muslims, right? There's an effort that's being made against Muslims, and people are putting money behind it. And I want to be one of the ones. Well, I am one of the ones, but I want to, I want to continue to be one of those voices that are out there that counters this misinformation. But I want to get out there and reach more people. I want to expand this platform and make it big. I want to expand the Mr. Islam Answers platform and make it bigger. And as you already heard, in order to do that, it's going to take some sponsors, some funding, so that we can grow this platform and that we can, have the time to do the other things that need to be done, the work that needs to be done. Because if not, then I got to do the other kind of work that needs to be done in order to, keep the lights on and keep the roof over my head and family taken care of and such. That's just the truth. That's just the reality of it. But again, that's how the David Woods and the Spencers are able to do it, because those are taken care of because they have somebody who sponsors them. So that way that they can take the time, as I said, to write the books and make the DVDs and in documentaries and do lectures and all of that. That's the reality of it. Okay, that's the reality of it. All right, what's this? If you need help proofreading, editing the book, I'd be happy to volunteer. Cool, I'll definitely keep that in mind. Did you watch the debate between? You know what? No, I didn't get a chance to watch it yet. I did not get a chance to watch it yet. But I do have the link. The brother Ijaz, he had posted it, so I made sure I saved it so that way, when I have some free time, I can get a chance to watch it. But lately, as I told you guys, my car broke down, and I'm working on it myself. And so I haven't had the time to watch pretty much anything, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. Let me see. I missed a few comments. Let's check. I hear you. We have lots of work ahead. We will do our best to sponsor your work and debates. Inshallah. Yes, I appreciate that. Legend Killer says, why are many Christians like David Wood completely inconsistent when they attack Islam? They ignore and forget their own Bible when they attack Islam. Well, that's just how it goes. People seem to always be willing to ignore issues with themselves or with their own people or with their group, and rather attack the target. So that's why that's done. You know what I mean? That's why they do that. And you're right, it is inconsistent to make some claim against Islam. Meanwhile, your Bible says something far, something that you should be criticizing. If you're going to criticize such and such in Islam, but your Bible says the same thing or something similar, and you're not criticizing that, that is inconsistent. That is inconsistent. So, but that's how people do. That's how they are. They ignore that and they rather point the fingers at someone else, because as I feel, it's that they are, they're so caught up in their bigotry and their hatred of Islam that they completely ignore, like you said, what's in their Bible instead. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, debate. What's this here? Bro, if you need help, okay, yeah, Sammy, I will keep that in mind, inshallah. For help with proofreading and editing, I'll definitely keep you in mind. Legend Killer says, Shadid, Quran 5:51, Allah said not to take them as awliya because they were hostile toward Muslims at that time. They might harm you or betray you. Yeah, definitely. I talk about that. I talked about that before, about the awliya and not taking it. What the proper word is. Awliya comes from the root word wali, which means a guardian or a person who manages your affairs, not necessarily a friend. A lot of times the non-Muslims quote that verse as if it's saying that Muslims can't be friends or friendly with non-Muslims, but really it's talking, as you said, right, about taking haters and stuff or you know, and enemies as protectors and guardians, because right, they were hostile towards the Muslims at the time. Legend Killer says, Shadid, I hope you become very popular in your YouTube channels and videos get many views. Make HD clear videos like David Wood channel is extra. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I mean, you know, we've gotten our channel, you know, definitely has grown over the years. You know what I'm saying? It definitely has grown over the years, but yeah, we would definitely like to take it to a bigger level. You know what I mean? Shadi Quran 48:29. It says that the kuffar disbelievers become filled with rage when they see Muslims bowing, prostrating, seeking Allah's pleasure, or even just the fact that you are, you know, practicing Islam. You know what I mean? Have you thought about doing YouTube live debate? That would be that would be good, sure. You know, depending on what's going on. You know what I mean? Like what type of setup it is, or who's calling for it. If it's just a regular YouTube thing, you know. But if it's going to be somebody from from a Christian organization or whatever, you know, we could talk about the details of that, because as I said, I was invited sometime last year for a type of online debate, and it was from a Christian organization. So when it comes to something like that, then yeah, we got to discuss the details and particulars of it, because you know they use those debates to, again, here we go again about funding, to sponsor their organization. So I'm not going to be used for free to be giving these people help to, you know, to promote that they're doing dawah, that they're doing missionary work to Muslims and they're reaching out to Muslims, because, you know what I'm saying? So it can't, I'm not against it, but yeah, that type of thing, if it's going to be, it has to be, you know, we got to talk about the details and the arrangements and all the stuff like that, even if it is online. You feel me? So, you know. But all right, brothers and sisters, we'll get ready to sign off. Again, next show, inshallah, is Wednesday. I should be done with my car by then for sure. Inshallah, I hope to have it finished by tomorrow. If anybody wondering, if you're wondering what I had to do, man, I have a Chrysler 300, and I have the 2 points. If anybody's familiar with cars, I have the 2.7 engine. If anybody, you know, this is totally off the subject, but just a little something before I said, if you're wondering, it has the 2.7 engine, and on this engine, right? A lot of cars, the water pump is easy to get to. It's like on the outside, somewhere on the side of the engine or whatever, and you can get to it real easy. Well, on this particular car, on this engine, the water pump is inside the front of the engine, right? They made it where the water pump on this car is inside of the engine. So basically, I have to take the engine apart, almost, just about. I have to take off it's a dual head cam. So I have to take off the two gasket heads, and then you have to open the front of the engine. So you got to open up the top of the engine where the whole engine is exposed, and then there's a plate on the front of the engine. You have to take the front off the engine, take off the timing belt, because the water pump is behind the timing belt. It's inside the engine, behind the timing belt. And so the reason why you have to take off the two cam heads is because the timing belt runs up to the tops of the what they call that, the sprockets on the top of the engine, down into the front of the engine, which goes around the camshaft and the water pump, and it helps the water pump spin. So when your water pump goes bad, you got to get inside the engine to get it. So that's why it's taken me so long. And you know, I mean, I've been working on my cars for years, but this job is a big job. If you take it to get it to a repair shop, I've been quoted anywhere from $700 to $1,000 for that job. But I was like, no, I don't have that kind of money to pay for that, so I'm going to do it myself. But like I said, I don't mind doing it. I like working on my car. I like fixing it myself if I can. Unless it's, you know, something too. This is not really a complicated job, but it's a big job. Right? I had to take the whole engine apart. I mean, not the whole engine, but you know, I had to take a portion of the engine apart just to get to the daggone pump. So that's what you know, what I'm working on. That's why it's taking some few days. According to the experts, it's supposed to be a 5-hour job, but I've been working on it for 2 days so far, because there were a few hitches that I ran into, but I've been working on it for 2 days so far. About to be 3.5, or excuse me, 2.5 tomorrow. I got to work on it some more tomorrow. Basically, I've already, you know, taken it apart, but now I got to put the engine back together now. So inshallah, I should be finished tomorrow. Hopefully I'm gonna start early in the morning.